Hey guys, I'm back. I'm Narcy if you don't know already. I am here to read a book that I wrote while I was homeless. Because I need to go through it, weed through it. I want to teach you guys or show y'all and share with y'all a true transformation, a rebirth. So, we're on chapter 29. Please like, share, subscribe. Because I want my story heard. I need it to be heard. It will teach people. It will help people. I need you guys. I need y'all. Okay. So, this is chapter 29. It's called Life or Death. Okay. Weirdo had this unconditional love for me. He still has it, and I'm lucky to have this man. My phone is going off the hook. And I still love this. Wait, I'm lucky to have this man. I was going to show him the world. This man hasn't seen any other state but Alabama and Chicago for a concert he went to when he was younger. In my heart, his life was worth saving. Guys, it takes someone that has been through hell and back to meet someone and see their pain, feel their pain, you know? And I have to explain this because I come from a Muslim family. I was disowned. My character was defamed, you know, and being with an American is a no-no anyways. And for the longest time, all I wanted was my family to accept me. And, you know, with healing and time, you learn, well, once you find yourself, your true authentic self, you realize that your circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And the people that really matter are still in that circle. You know, sometimes people's rejection is definitely God's protection. And it will hurt because you will lose family along the way. But you have to think, was that family really ever there for you? Did they want you to fit in this box of what society calls the normal? And you're just more. You're different. Guys, people like us are not normal. We're beautifully made and we're different. So yeah, I had to choose my own path, and yeah, I had to learn a lot of things, and go through a lot of trials by myself with my partner. But even before my partner, I still went through a lot of trials, and I had to go through a lot of things. But I left the people that left me behind, and I'm healed from it. You know, I forgive everyone. There are going to come times in your life where, and this is throat chakra, but this is, okay, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Your kids get taken away. Your character gets defamed. Your inheritance gets stolen. Your identity gets stolen. People have robbed you your whole entire life. They've lied to you, taken your kindness for weakness, thought you were stupid. When in all actuality, you are a gem, a hidden gem, okay? You are. So I chose my path, and I'm proud of it. So we're going to continue reading. Let's get to it. Grab your coffee, grab your vape. Grab whatever you need, because y'all, my story is worth listening to. I pray to God this encourages you to share your story with me too. Alright. Okay. I said, I love him. I honestly believe God really did send him to me to protect me. We protect each other. So he and I decided to go on a journey of a lifetime. Weirdo and I got in my Chevrolet Tahoe, and at first we were just going to drive to Atlanta, Georgia, and DoorDash and make a bunch of money, and then return and buy a bunch of dope and go on a binge for a week. However, on our way, we started meeting some really cool people. They were good people. And started realizing there was more in this world than getting high. When all you know is drugs and people that betray you, and you get out of your comfort zone, you leave home because you're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and God shows you another part, a better part of your life, or that could be your life. Yo, we were literally divinely pushed out, okay? And we kept meeting really cool people, like good people, and we just started to fall in love with the trip. Sometimes you do have to leave home, guys. When they say in AA and NA, they say you have to change your people, places, and things. Okay, this is very true because birds of a feather do flock together, okay? You want to reach a vibration, a high vibration, to where you attract decent people, that will not betray you, that will not steal from you, that will not hurt you, that will feel pain when they see you cry is what you want, okay? Or they won't even hurt you to make you cry. They'll love you, and they will accept you for you. You don't have to pretend or put on a facade of being someone else that you're not, because guys, it takes a lot more work to do that than just to be yourself. Okay? Alright. But yeah, we started to realize that there was more to life than just getting high, guys. We weren't ready to give up. We wanted to see the world. We were sick and tired of being sick and tired. Our goal ended up changing, and we were going to DoorDash around the United States and get sober together. I wanted to find my biological mother. She had dementia, and I wanted to catch her before it got worse and she couldn't remember. And it would be full-blown Alzheimer's. That was my true intention. And then with time, I realized that she didn't have good intentions for me. Never had. She actually, my own mother envied me. Got jealous of me my whole entire life. And that's a pretty crappy feeling. Yeah. But yeah, in the beginning, when I wrote this book, I said she had dementia, and I wanted to catch her before it got worse and she couldn't remember. And it would be full-blown Alzheimer's. I needed to tell her that I forgave her no matter what, and that I loved her. All of this became a healing process for us. God had a plan, and we were following it. Little did we know this was going to be a divine intervention that our spirits yearned for. Guys, you are so blessed if you get to that point where you are truly pushed out of town. And, towers in our life are not always bad. A tower is when everything just seems to crumble and you feel like you're going to die, but you have that resilience and that strength, and you rise. You're a phoenix rising, and you don't give up. So if you are going through a tower, just know that it's good, especially if you're not living right. Alright, all of this became a healing process. We weren't aware of the magic that was divinely set in our paths. God had a plan, and we were following it. Little did we know this was going to be a divine intervention that our spirits yearned for. And guys, for the longest time, I didn't understand God, okay? I didn't. And it took me being homeless and seeing, or walking in the shoes of just the homeless and the struggling, like to the max, for me to regain that faith. And this is what God wants us to do. So sometimes it does take you getting out there, living on a sidewalk, pissing in a bush, you know, for you to remember. It's so worth it. Okay, that our spirit's yearn for. We left Alabama behind. We left a flat screen TV, another vehicle, brand new bottles of perfume, a shed full of tools, and a home. And our home and a brand new sewing machine. I really wanted to learn how to sew at least. So there's so many errors in the editing in this book. God bless. But I was determined to write this book, guys. I literally left at least 25 pairs of tennis shoes, and they were all broke. Half of them I never even wore. In my garden, I had 2 peach trees, 2 blueberry bushes, and a lot of beautiful plants. We knew if we stayed in Alabama, we would die or end up incarcerated. This is facts. Guys, I want to tell you this too. I know now that God had his hand on me this whole entire time because I watched everyone around me get busted, lose everything, you know. Multiple times, go in and out of jail multiple times, lose kids multiple times, and God had me. Yes, my kid's not with me right now, and I lost everything, but I never ended up in jail. I never caught a charge. Thank you, Lord. You know what I mean? This is a blessing. It is, and it's not luck, y'all. It's God. Because I was around some really, really, really awful people. It started out that we would DoorDash in Atlanta, then return home because you made more money in Atlanta than we ever made in Alabama. And we wanted to get sober. We made a vow to never return to Alabama unless it was just to visit. We met new people, prettier surroundings, more opportunities, and we saw that there was more to life in Atlanta. In Atlanta, just imagine what else we would venture into. There was still the entire USA to explore. We got on the road and made it to Georgia, Florida, and then Florida. I swam in the Gulf of Mexico. I think that's pretty cool, you know. I no longer fear the ocean. I used to not get in. I would fear sharks. But in this ocean, you could see your feet. And then we went to Louisiana. We made it to New Orleans. We didn't like it too much. Weirdo almost got shot just for walking up to a dude's car. When I was growing up in New Orleans as a child... Okay. It was a lot nicer. After Hurricane Katrina, it went to shit. Let me tell y'all a little bit about New Orleans when we were there. Yeah, Hurricane Katrina came, and there was a man that we met, this African-American beautiful man. He was a preacher. His home got flooded. I think he said the water was up to here, and he lost his wife and his kids. But we just drove up on this church. We sat down and we ate fried chicken with a bunch of homeless people and with him, you know, and he told us his story. And this was the beautiful thing about this journey. This is when I started to really appreciate things more because, you know, God will put certain people like this preacher man in your life at that exact moment because there are things that you need to learn. So yeah, we made a friend for a lifetime at this church, this preacher man. You know, I'm just so, God bless him, because even after he lost his whole entire family, he still feeds the homeless. He still has a smile, a beautiful smile on his face, okay? We take so much for granted in our lives, guys, so much. But I am so grateful that I met such a beautiful person. And you know, when you run into people that are amazing, that are heartfelt, that are just great, it makes you want to become like them. Damn, that's a good feeling, you know? Birds of a feather flock together. So yeah, we have a church we can go to in New Orleans whenever we want and eat fried chicken. I know if I ever get $1 million, I'm donating to that church. For sure. To that man. there are some people in this world that are truly earth angels and truly help people because they truly, genuinely, from their heart, want to. And those are the people that I absolutely adore with all of my heart. And my heart's big, you know? It's wonderful, you know? A lot nicer. After Hurricane Katrina, it went to shit. While in Florida, we made it a point to go to the genealogy library and research my mother's side of the family. And we found out that my grandmother was in a nursing home somewhere in Pensacola, which we went by 5 or 6 searching for her, you know, because I wanted to show my face, you know. Even though I didn't know my grandmother, I would have told her I love you, you know. We all want to know who our family is, where we come from. That's one of my wishes I've always wanted to know, you know. But unfortunately, people have their own lives, and they'll realize sooner or later you are that gem that they missed out on. All right. No one could tell us when we would go into a nursing home. We would ask them, tell the person at the front desk my grandma's name, and they couldn't tell us if she was there because it was like against policy. It was confidential whether or not she was there. I literally went on a Facebook rampage and I posted all over social media names of people I was related to in hopes that someone would read my post and inbox me, but I had no luck. I tried, y'all. I posted everywhere. So we decided to get in our truck and continue with our journey. We even went by, in a neighborhood by one of my cousin's house. And the girl that answered the door, and I'm a recovering addict. I could tell. You could tell by the front yard and the backyard that the people that lived there were also addicts, you know. And when I went to the door, the woman was spooked, and I asked my cousin for, I think it was like Billy Porter or something like that. And she was like, "Oh, he doesn't live here." And I was just like, "God bless," and I left, you know. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm good, you know, because once you realize that people's rejection is God's protection, you and your frequency and just you become who you are meant to be, you attract some awesome people, and they may not be blood family, but they're way cooler and way better. They're like your spiritual family, you know. I would encourage you guys to get into spirituality because we have a spirit, a beautiful spirit, and a soul that wants to get to know us. And you learn a bunch of really cool stuff from your spirit. Trust me. Alright. Weirdo and I made it from Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia. And there were some things I skipped over. Weirdo and I met this Hispanic guy whose name was Juan. He was a painter and had his own business. He hired Weirdo and me. We were excited to get hired to go and do this one job with him. We were helping him paint a house in a nice neighborhood, and Juan told me I would be working with him, and Weirdo would be working on the other side of the house painting. I didn't like that idea. Why can't I just work with Robert? You know? Alright, so within the first 2 hours, Juan told me he used crystal meth, and I walked around front and told Robert we had to go because Juan used meth. I was new to sobriety and didn't want to risk it. Robert said, "Come on, Narcy, let's finish this job, then we will get this money and get back on the road." During this time, I thought that getting high one last time, it won't hurt anything. So I told Weirdo I wanted to get high, and he said if I got high, he would get high too. So Juan showed me the dope, and I'm not even gonna lie, this is a true channel. I started getting excited. Juan snorted it, and I smoked it, so Juan didn't have the right paraphernalia I needed. So I told Juan and Weirdo that I was going to the gas station to buy a glass bowl so that I could smoke. In Alabama, we call the glass bowls chalets. I told them that I would be right back. And In Alabama, the Indian owner owned gas station sold glass bowls for $5 or $6. The first gas station I went to, the guy smirked and looked at me from behind the counter and said, "We don't sell that type of thing here." I was so embarrassed, y'all. You know? The second gas station told me the same thing, but the guy was loud about it. And I got so embarrassed, y'all. I felt embarrassed and left. This was God saying, "No, ma'am." Okay? No, ma'am. I love reading this now, and just knowing that, God was like, "Hell no, not my child." I wouldn't go back to Weirdo and Juan. I stayed out riding around for hours because I knew if I went back, I would get high. So my emotions were like a roller coaster. I was scared. I didn't know anything about Atlanta, but at the same time, I wanted to be clean. I literally drove around in my Tahoe, like crying and just panicking and freaking out. And y'all, this is what happens when, first off, you're in a state that you know nothing about. Secondly, you're coming off of drugs and you've been on them for so many years. You don't know how to cope with your emotions, and you really don't know what's going on internally. You're just a roller coaster. Okay. it gets good. So in the midst of me driving around like a chicken with no head, I decided it was time to call the off and on again family, Mimi. Now that I think about it, I'm just like, ugh, I put so much trust into people, that I shouldn't have. The narrator's insert. I've learned quickly that I can't trust anyone. Now I can trust people because the only people that I allow in my life, I have boundaries. And if they cross me, which my discernment is phenomenal. Hold on. Yeah, if they cross me, my discernment is phenomenal, and I won't allow people to disturb my peace. So as I said, your circle will become extremely small, okay? Which is really God's protection. Not everyone deserves a spot at your table. Whew. And it's okay. Let me find it. Where was I? Hold on. Get this money, get back on the road. Okay. I've learned quickly that I can't trust anyone, especially from Alabama. I've left. I don't communicate with anyone in Alabama anymore. I've tried with my son, and I haven't gotten anywhere. It's sad, but that's why God has given me another chance at life here in Austin, Texas. I had to learn the hard way to be choosy with who I allowed in my life. Life is too short. This is true, guys. Life is too short. My brother told them... Wait. Okay. Yes, my brother told them what was really going on. He told them why I wasn't the best mom that I could have been, and added that I left Weirdo with Juan and wasn't going back to get him because I wanted to get sober. Okay, the editing in this is really shitty. Let me explain that. Alright, so I decided to call Mimi because I was an emotional wreck, and I wanted to let her know that I know what I have to do. I have to get clean if I want to be a good mother for my son. Okay? And I can remember Mimi saying, "Well, I'm glad," she said, "the first thing is admitting that you have a problem. And that's good." That's what she said. Okay? And then I asked her if she would go and pick up my 2 dogs that I had at home. And I told her that I would let my landlord know that she's allowed to go into my home and get whatever she needs to get. And she said that Nicholas would go into the home. Okay? I was so terrified. I did not want to go back to Alabama. And I knew I had to get right for my child. Okay? This was the first time that I admitted to being on drugs to the on and off again family. I don't know what they knew. I don't know anything. You know, I just knew that I wanted to come clean because there were guys, when you hold so much weight on your chest, it gets so heavy. You've got to own up to shit and you gotta let it out. You gotta be truthful. You gotta be honest, even if the people that you're being honest to do not have your best interest. Because what happens is you feel lighter and they could just steal or stay unhealed. That's on them. Who cares? Okay. So after that, I called my older brother. And the only thing that I told my other older brother was, I know what I have to do. I'm gonna do it. I love you. Bye. Okay? And then I got on the phone with my best friend Nina, which I haven't talked to her. I don't know what's up with her or whatever. And I told her, I said, you know what? I know God is real. I told her everything that was going on, you know? And I felt like I could trust her. We'll get into that later on. But yeah, the whole editing in this chapter is way whack. God bless, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna have to redo this a couple chapters. Or my second book will be a lot better. My brother, this is what happened. My brother ended up stealing my inheritance and telling everyone that it was because I was on drugs. In the conversation that I had with my brother, I didn't tell him that I was on drugs. I just told him that I knew what I needed to do to become a better person, and I hung the phone up. Okay? But he's used this. This is where it will fuck you up. Trusting, even family. Because it really, you know, my brother completely defamed my character to people. He even said that I needed to go on Facebook and tell everyone that I'm a liar and that, that I'm a liar. And then he wanted me to say some other shit, but I can't even remember what it was because it was untrue. But he made me out to be, he called me some of the ugliest names, ugliest words, and I never did anything to him. Nothing. He just had to figure out a way to be mad at me and to disown me and to steal my inheritance. This is the truth. This is what he did. And I've already forgiven him. Okay? And yes, he is an individual that will never take accountability, and I'm okay with it. You gotta leave people where they're at because they are unhealed. And that's not your problem. You laid it out there. You approach your family, your friends with integrity, with love, with loyalty, with a kind heart, with compassion, and they rejected you. Therefore, that's it. For the longest time in the beginning of this journey, I was so stuck. I was like, how could they do this to me? How can my brother cut me off? He knows because of, like, a little bit more in the book. I was like, we're broken down. We have nowhere to go. And I'm blowing up my brother's phone and he does not answer. Not a single time. Literally, we had no food. We had nowhere to go. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, my brother would be in my home, on the couch sleeping, with food, a shower, and he would be safe. This is the difference between myself and my family. This is why I tell you that it is important for you to know and for you to realize that a human being's rejection is for sure, most definitely, God's protection. God just wants you to remember him, and he just wants you to remember yourself and love yourself. Guys, this is so important because guess what? While all the people in your life that have betrayed you are living their lives while you're struggling and suffering and you are at rock bottom, they're still living their lives. It's your turn to live your life, okay? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that's rephrased, reworded. It's, you know, when you come off drugs, yeah, you're a little bit everywhere, you know? God bless. But yeah, once I found out that Juan was a meth head, and I went to go and try to buy, and I was a recovering meth head, to buy last pipe, and I was rejected from both stores. I got embarrassed and I rode around for a few hours. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm not going to pick up Robert. Because if I go and pick up Robert, I'm going to stay there and I'm going to get high. So honestly, in my head, my roller coaster of a mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to leave him here. And I'm going to get back on the road. 1 hour passed, 2 hour passed, 3 hour passed, 4 hour passed. And then eventually I went and I picked them up. I met them at a hotel and I picked them up. And we got on that road. We said, fuck getting paid. That's how, like, my heart was pumping. And we left. I did go in the hotel room and I did take a shower because we hadn't had a shower in forever. And I took all my clothes that I was wearing and I scrubbed it in the bathtub, got all our stuff up, and we left. We got back on the road. We weren't worried about that paycheck. Y'all, see, what happens is when you set out on your journey, on your rebirth, the devil will come at you and test you and just mess with you so badly, especially when he knows that you want to do better and do good. You will come across situations like this, and the devil is testing you, okay? But God is watching you, and he's right there by your side, okay? You can say no. You can remove yourself from whatever situation's going on to protect yourself. Because, guys, you know, being a recovering addict is or being sober is so much easier than being on dope. It truly is, okay? It truly, truly is. Oh, God, it's so much better. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, this is reworded really weird. I honestly believed Weirdo had gotten high with Juan. He didn't look his normal self when I saw him earlier. Guys, this is me. I was wishing, or I was mad, just like an active addiction. I would get mad because when Robert would leave for like a couple hours, I'd be like, oh, you got high without me, you know? I still had that demon on me. So this is me writing with the demon still on me, okay? And I'm glad I'm seeing this now. I made an assumption. I said he didn't look his normal self when I saw him earlier. Now that I'm thinking about it, both of us were coming off drugs. We were in the beginning phase, and neither of us looked normal. I was a wreck in the beginning of this journey. God bless. Like, truly, I was a wreck. A wreck. I begged Mimi to go and pick my dogs up because I wouldn't be coming back. When I got healed, then I thought I could call my brother. Okay, because I was trying to heal. The editing sucks. God bless. Thank you guys for everyone that has bought this book. I hope you guys are staying tuned to this so that I can edit it as I'm explaining it to you. Because there's a lot of weirdness in this, you know? I'm just grateful I was given the opportunity to publish a book, you know. Then I thought I could call my brother because I wanted to overcome my addictions. My brother was trying his hardest to find a way to pull my inheritance, and I had just made it easier. He had been asking around, and no one in Alabama told him any of my business. Come to find out later, they did. So when I called him, all I said was, hey, I figured it out. Things are going to start getting better for me. Then I told my brother I loved him and hung up the phone. At this time, I felt alone and thought I could trust Mimi and Elmo and they would be happy. You know what, guys? It was all about, in the beginning, it was all about making everyone else happy. I didn't even know what to do with myself, you know? And it's confusing, and it's mental conflict in the beginning, but the clearer-headed and the more sober that you become, you will start to love yourself, okay? All I really wanted for my brother was to hear him say, I love you too, Narcy. When I told him I loved him, all I wanted him to say is, I love you too. Now I accept the fact that my brother isn't who I wished him to be as a brother. I put him on this pedestal for so long, and the clearer I get, the more I realize I made up this fantasy family to everyone, including myself, because in actuality, I didn't want anyone to know I had a crappy family. It's not even about them being crappy. I had a family that didn't understand me and never tried to. And I'm not the only one out here like this, okay? I'm weird and I love it. Accept me for who I am. Just love me, you know? I wanted to be like everyone else. Well, that was what I thought every family was. I wanted people to think I had a family that had my back and actually loved me. I wanted people to think in my times of being alone, I was spoken for, that I had a family and no one could hurt me. I was a scared person. I had been hurt by many people without regard to my well-being for pretty much my entire life. I thank God for holding on to me. I think for me to help y'all understand that a little bit more is, I was taking advantage of a lot of my life, and it was a lot of people. They knew that I didn't have family that truly backed me, and they continued to, and I allowed it, because when you're struggling with addiction, you don't care, but so many people took advantage of me, and I just figured, because most people, when you have a brother, your brother's supposed to have your back, especially if you're a sister. He's supposed to whoop somebody's ass. God. But yeah, that's all I ever wanted. It was a decent, loyal family that stuck it out, with me. But I look at it this way. They weren't strong, or they're not as strong as me, because I went through it and I came out. They washed their hands clean of me, and I know I'm stronger, God bless them. I just know if the shoe were on the other foot, which it has been, because, I sold drugs to my brother when I lived in Columbus, Georgia, and I never judged him for his addictions. I still loved him, and all my brothers and sisters, I drank shots of vodka with my sister before she ever got married, in Alabama, and I never judged them. I don't judge them. I love them. That's the difference between me and them. But yeah, if the shoe were on the other foot, I would have stuck it out through with them, because that's how loyal I am. That's who I am. I'm a tough one. But yeah. And I'm so proud of my heart. Because no matter what I have been through, and I want you to feel this way about yourself too, or I want you to become as healed as I am becoming, and as strong, y'all. You can alchemize, you can take any pain, any struggle, and you can flip that shit around and make it, and turn it into the most positive, beautiful energy and love, y'all, and spread that shit. It'll just exude. You will walk into a room and people will magnetize towards you because you are such a beautiful human being, and you light that motherfucker up. You light the room up. That's what I have become. Guys, I have people at work and around me that ask me, who is it that you pray to? They want to be as happy as me. I have people that ask me everything about me, that want to know what I eat for breakfast, how I eat it, how I take my coffee, or how many sugars do I put in it. Because they want my light, and that is my purpose, that is my goal, y'all. I want everyone to shine as bright as me. Anyways, I'm going to cut this video short. I gotta pee. I love you guys so much. Please like, share, subscribe. This is a journey I want you guys with me on, because it only gets better. God bless you. I love you.